Hello students, welcome to the second lecture of module 3, that is basic technical writing skills. And in this lecture we'll be covering the following topics: drafting, official writing and DO letters. Official writing means we'll talk about official letters and we'll emphasize on DO letter. So first we should understand what is writing. Before understanding drafting, we should understand what is writing. So it is one of the best methods to communicate and one of the oldest known forms of communication. In today's age of information and technology, writing has become a lost art because we are more inclined towards information technology. So initially, you must be knowing that your parents used to communicate with each other with the help of letters. But nowadays, we used to communicate with each other through the mobile phone, and we have the facility of internet, etc. So we don't actually involve in writing much. So that's why it is becoming a lost art. So, but when we talk about business correspondence or official correspondence, written communication is important. Why? Because, because first of all, it creates a permanent record and it allows you to store information for future reference as well. Means in later on, whenever there is similar situation, you can refer to the previous record. It can be easily distributed. It In this, all recipients receive the same information, and it is also necessary for legal and binding documentation. Now, when a writer has to write something, what are his questions? What are the questions a writer asks? How do I begin? Means how to start? What is my purpose? Why I'm writing? How do I make my point clear? Whatever is in the writer's mind, how to make it clear? How do I create a logical flow? How do I say what I mean? Whatever we have in our mind, it is not very easy to express it. How do I avoid grammatical errors? Yeah, that means the writer should know every thing about the grammar, the grammatical correctness, the technical style. How can I make my message brief, to the point, accurate? How can I create a visual effect that the person who is reading should have visualize whatever I'm writing? So this is the writing process. When we talk about the writing, it has certain steps. It starts with pre-writing, then next step is drafting, then editing, and then publishing. So it is not merely writing. It involves many steps. So we'll talk about three major points: planning, drafting, and revising. So, what is planning? Planning and organizing are very essential steps before writing any essay, any letter, any document. It refers to the use of a deliberate and organized approach to tackling a writer's writing task. And it includes a writer's first thought or basic ideas about the topic. When a writer thinks about writing something, he or she plans what to write. So, whatever comes in the mind, he has to plan. So, students who struggle with writing generally do not plan ahead. Rather, they compose their text as they write. Next comes drafting. Drafting means you get ideas onto paper or into a computer file in sentences and paragraphs. So, whenever we talk about in everyday use, people use the word writing to talk about drafting. So, they actually say call drafting writing only. But writing is too broad a term here. The word drafting more accurately describes what do you do when you write your first attempt, your first draft to generate words. If you remember, I don't know how many of you have this experience of writing any letter or any application. So first you try to scribble something on the paper, then you just throw it in the bin, again you think about something else. So that is basically drafting. Then you, when you get to have something on the paper, that is your first draft. your thoughts on paper. So, what are the steps in drafting? First, write a discovery draft. This means using focused free writing to get ideas on paper or onto your computer screen so that you can make connections that spring to your mind as you write. Whatever thoughts are coming, from where they are coming. So, for that, you need to put your words on a paper or on your computer screen. Work from your notes. Sort your notes from planning and shaping into groups of subtopics. Next is use a combination of approaches. When you know the shape of your material, write according to that structure. When you feel stuck and don't know what to say next, switch to writing as you would for a discovery draft. Next, after drafting comes revising. When you have written put down your ideas on the paper, then you need to revise it, read it. So you look over your first draft, then you will analyze it, evaluate it, and then rewrite it by composing a number of subsequent versions or drafts. Here you will revise it, you will eliminate the things you don't want, or you will add something. So you'll rewrite it to get closer to what you want to say. It involves adding, cutting, moving material, and after that, editing and proofreading comes after revising. So, when we revise, what are the major activities? First, adding. Add means insert needed words, sentences, and paragraphs. Cut means eliminate. Get rid of whatever goes off the topic or repeats what has already been said. Replace. As needed, substitute new words. You can add synonyms, antonyms, you different sentences, one word substitution, paragraphs for what you have cut. Then move. Change the sequence of paragraphs. If the material isn't presented in a logical order, so move sentences within paragraphs or to other paragraphs when your paragraph arrangement does not allow the material to flow. These are the major activities during revision. After revision comes editing. Now, here, editing means checking the technical correctness of your writing. Here, you carefully examine your writing for correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, use of numbers, italics, abbreviations. Some people use the term editing and revising interchangeably, but they are very different steps in the process of writing. In contrast to revising, editing means looking at each word for its technical correctness. By editing, you fine tune the surface features of your writing. So they both are really very different. Next comes proofreading. So to proofread, you have to check your final draft for accuracy and neatness before handling it in. In contrast to editing, which is a check for technical correctness, proofreading is typographical. This is your last chance to catch typing or handwriting errors. Some printing mistakes can be there. So to make sure what you hand is in is a clean transcription of your final draft. So sometimes after printing the material also you do the proofreading again. Now we'll talk about the official letters, official writing. Official letters are often cover letters, that is, they are sent to accompany another document, such as a resume, some papers, some documents. So, these are the letters written by individuals, private organizations, and government agencies to government organizations such as ministries, banks, government run institutions, and industries within or outside the country and these are generally known as official letters. For example, a letter from an officer in the Union Ministry of Agriculture to an officer in the Department of Agriculture of a state government can be called an official letter, right? So, if you are including anything in the envelope other than the letter itself, it is a good idea to write enclosure or simply ENCL after your name. This lets your recipient know to look for another page or two and reduces the risk that your letter will get separated from whatever else you have sent. We have discussed this thing in the business letter also. Now, do's and don'ts of an official letter. First, we'll talk about the do's, what we should do in an official letter. We should make every effort to find out the name of the person you are writing. Also, ensure the name is spelled correctly. Now, here you need to follow the rules of standard written English and carefully proofread your writing. Ensure that it is free from errors. Do sound like yourself, just a very professional version of yourself. Keep your letter short and to the point. Use letter size paper and a business size envelope. Because official letters are written for various purposes. They are written to provide information, to lodge a complaint, to make requests, to express support, to congratulate, to appreciate. So these are also the purpose in business letters, but the degree of formality in an official letter increases. Now, what we should not do in an official letter, don't use the solution salutation to whom it may concern, because it is very outdated and impersonal. Don't use overly familiar and colloquial language. Don't use a thesaurus to try and sound more intellectual. Don't change the font size to adjust the appearance of your letter. So these are the things we should remember while writing an official letter. So there are different types of official letters, right? First one is demi-official letter. Second is government letter, and third is letters to authorities. What is more important in our syllabus is demi-official letter. So we'll emphasize on demi-official. These letters are different from fully official letters. Why? Because they are informal. They would start with a salutation, dear Mr., dear Miss, instead of dear sir or dear madam. And they conclude with a sincerely yours in contrast to yours faithfully. Now, why demi-official is a letter is different? Because it is partly official and partly personal. However, it is to be noted that the word personal is different from private. Private letters are written to people who are close to you in your family or friend circles. But demi official letters or DO letters mainly flow between officers of the same level or between officers who differ in ranks by one or two level to seek or provide additional information or to discuss some matter personally before proceeding further and arriving at a decision on some issue. So, DO letters can also flow between an individual and an officer or a business person or managers of two business organizations. They are different from formal government letters. When we talk about demi-official letters, what is the use? What is the application of DO letter? Demi-official communication are resorted to when the writer wishes to make clear to the addressee that he, that is the writer, is not using his authority, rather his relationship with the addressee to communicate a request or suggestion. In short, DO letters are, as I already said, half personal and half official letters, hence demi, which means half. So while writing DO letters, we should remember some characteristics of DO letters also. They are addressed to a particular officer by name and should directly reach him. It should be ensured that nobody en route open the letter. Addressee details are given at the end of the letter. They always end with complimentary close yours sincerely. A personal note can be included at the end if the writer so desires. They should not be quoted in official letters unless they are included in the records. And they are used in urgent situations to draw the attention of a senior officer or to obtain some information from a subordinate. We can take example. In case of a long outstanding payment that is not forthcoming from, say, company B, despite reminders and follow up by the staff of company A, the accountant of company A might write to his acquaintance or counterpart in company B a demi official letter giving it a personal touch, requesting that the matter be looked into. This is the sample demi official format. I'm just giving it in the video lecture, but I'll provide the notes. Will provide the notes to you. So when we are writing a DO for promotion of a friend, at the outset, let me, on behalf of all ranks of dash, heartily congratulate you on your promotion to the rank of, we'll mention the rank, and at the same time wish you many further promotions and exaltations in life. So this is an example of demi-official letter. Response due to the promotion appointment. Thank you very much for your due letter number this, dated this. It is with deep gratitude that I acknowledge your kind and thoughtful felicitations on my promotion and appointment as Commander 74 Infantry Brigade. So this can be the way of writing a demi-official letter. We'll take a proper example also. This is a letter written by Navjot Singh Sidhu, Local Government Tourism, Cultural Affairs, Archives and Museum Minister, and to the Honorable Minister, External Affairs, Government of India. So it is respected, ma'am. It fills my heart with joy unspeakable on learning that the Government of India has agreed to build a corridor for pilgrims to visit Kartarpur Sahib on 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. As a Sikh devotee and as a man committed to the cause of Punjab and its people, I am extremely grateful and indebted for the steps initiated by the Government of India. So you can just understand the matter. You can see uh, it is mentioned DO number SPL01, right? On the top left, right hand side of the page. Now, next is government letters. What are government letters? These are the letters written between different offices and departments of government, autonomous bodies, and government or semi government. They are called official or government correspondence. Now, as I already said, that we are not going to emphasize much on government letters, but you have in your syllabus Demi-Official Letter, so I'll not talk about government letters much, but we'll talk about the features of government letters. Now, government letters also include letters written between two governments, intergovernment, from one state government to another state or central government, but they are more official, more formal. These letters are written by the concerned authoritative officer or authority in his official capacity and for the use of the office. It is different from business letters as they are not friendly and should have a direct style of addressing. The official letter demands special care of dignity and designation of the person or officer writing the letter. So we have to be very careful while writing a government letter, and of course they are written by government officials. Next are the letter to authorities. A letter to authority is similar to a letter of persuasion. However, it should not be mixed with a letter of complaint. Its main aim is to try to convince and persuade an authority figure into doing something or changing his mind on a particular matter. For example, your boss at work decided to cancel some employee benefits, such as free transportation for all workers, due to budget cuts. You can write a letter to your boss to argue your position. So, this is all about in this lecture. I hope the content is clear to you. Now we'll uh, again meet in the next lecture and talk about the next topic, that is meeting, agenda and minutes. If you have any doubts or questions or suggestions, you can post in the comment section. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home, stay indoors.